Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy D-Free, and I'm bringing you guys another Dragon Ball Super segment, and I've got my friend with me. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello everybody, my name's Beginning Metal 6 with another video, and today we are basically discussing Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super and our just thoughts on some of the plots and the storylines that may, happen within the series. Why don't you go ahead and start us off, Beginning Metal?
Alright, so basically my original theory was with what I showed you earlier with Whis and how he might actually be from a different universe. Considering what Beerus said in Battle of Gods, when Goku asked him if he was the strongest, he said, well, it depends what universe you're talking about. And if he's implying that he's the strongest in that universe, but he says that we stronger than him, so it could be that Whis is actually from a different universe, and that could put a huge twist in the story and introduce a lot of new characters. But what are your opinions on that?
Well, I mean, I think that would be pretty cool if they, for Dragon Ball Super, they just kind of incorporated a little bit of the other universes and some stronger characters. I mean, the characters are going to have to be stronger, so it's logical that they would use some form of gods or somebody equivalent to a god, because they're talking about the enemies are going to be stronger than Golden Frieza, who's on par with, God Goku and God Vegeta at least. So, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I personally, I think that's one of the only routes that they can go, because it makes sense for a god to be that strong, unless they start overpowering just a whole bunch of regular characters. It wouldn't seem natural to me if they went the avenue where they were like, okay, here's a new character, here's a new character, here's a new character. This person is not a god, but they're stronger than gods. I don't think they can keep making other characters stronger than gods, because it kind of downplays, the importance that the gods have in the series. But we do know that Toriyama he's prone to forgetting things, so I don't really know if he will go down that route, but I think it's the logical explanation. I think with Dragon Ball Super, it might just continue to take place I believe right before, well, it says that it's taking place right after Fukatsu no F, which I did get the chance to see. It takes place right after that. So we don't know how big of a time skip there will be. We don't know if it'll be after the World Tournament. I know Toasty likes to say that it'll be after the World Tournament because that's part of the Majin Buu saga technically, but we really just don't know when it'll take place. So I think that personally, depending on how old a lot of the characters are, they may not get very much play within the series, and I think that logically, introducing more gods would be the best avenue for the series. I don't think that he's going to introduce anybody other than gods, to be honest with you, unless he wants to start just bringing back some of the older characters and buffing them up. I thought it was kind of over the top how Frieza could train for 4 months and just literally get that strong. It didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like you hit a pretty good point there, and we probably will wind up seeing something along the lines of gods, because, like I said, if he does introduce other new characters, that just debunks the importance of having gods in the series and whatnot.
Yeah. Another thing I was thinking about that is, like, the fact that if he is from the universe, there might be other gods that are stronger than Whis, which might pose a problem because of the way that Whis is interacting with Universe 7, which is the universe that they're in. That might be, like, breaking the laws of the universe, and might cause other universes to try and get Whis and bring him back over to their universe.
Do you think Whis is not supposed to be in Universe 7? Because he's Beerus' keeper, like his mentor and whatnot, he trains him and whatnot, but Beerus is the god of destruction from that universe, so I think he's supposed to be there. There's probably other Whis or characters that play Whis' role from the other universes that train the other gods as well.
Yeah, for sure, but, like, I'm just saying that it might be that Whis, like, insisted on going to their universe because he may have seen some potential in certain individuals. Because even then, King Kai didn't know who Whis was, right? But Beerus had been over King Kai's place before. So if King Kai didn't know who Whis was, then that kind of boggles my mind a bit, because it's like, well, shouldn't he actually know who he is if Beerus has been there before and Whis is supposed to be there?
Mm-hmm. Very true, very true. That does make sense. But the thing is, I don't think that Beerus had been the god before Whis was his mentor. Like, I'm sure Whis and Beerus were around together before Beerus became the god of destruction. I don't know. You're hitting some good points there. I just feel like Whis was probably there with Beerus the whole time. It makes sense in the terms that you could look at it and say, hey, maybe Beerus came and just blew up King Kai's planet without Whis. It doesn't say that they always, traveled together and whatnot. Maybe he was just feeling some kind of way and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go and do this my own. I'm sick of King Kai over there. I'm gonna go ahead and blow up his little planet. So I don't necessarily know. But that would be pretty interesting if there was something like along the lines of like, hey, you're not supposed to be in this universe, we're bringing you back with us to this universe over here and whatnot. If that was some sort of like a plot or a storyline for Dragon Ball Super, that would be pretty interesting. I also think that aside from that, a good storyline would be to kind of build upon some of the characters that were in the original Dragon Ball Z series that just didn't get enough building. Like I said in one of my videos, I think that'd be pretty cool if we saw future Trunks come back. It would just, they have a lot of stuff they could play with as far as, but that would probably be like not canon, it would probably be like filler and whatnot.
Yeah.
But as far as like actual canon stuff goes, the only avenue I see them legitimately taking Dragon Ball Super and it not turning into a complete flub, knock on wood, but I think the only avenue they could actually take it would be to introduce gods or something along the lines of gods like Whis or Beerus or other gods of destructions or whatever they're called in the other universes and whatnot.
Yeah, you have a really good point on that, and actually one thing I did want to touch on in this video is that I kind of wanted to see, like, the lower class Z fighters like Krillin and Tien actually bump up their game to be at least level with what Gohan was just before the Cell Games. Because I find that they've been kind of off with how powerful they actually are. Because they make it seem like Mr. Satan and the lower class Z fighters are the exact same. But
okay.
Yeah, they're making it so that basically the people in the original Dragon Ball series and at the start of Z are like not really characters that should even be there anymore. And I kind of like, one of my favorite characters is Krillin, and I know that seems strange, but that's a topic for another video. But yeah.
Definitely. I mean, the thing is, though, that when it comes to those Earthling characters, they could potentially get strong. First, I don't think they'll be able to get as strong as Gohan was. Well, unless it was Gohan right before he went into hyperbolic time chamber and started becoming a Super Saiyan, then maybe there.
Yeah.
At that point, yeah, I don't think they'd be able to be as strong as a Super Saiyan because there's limitations to Earthlings and whatnot. At least that's what we're led to believe based on their trajectory throughout the series. I just feel like the opponents, I think that the reason why Toriyama and whatnot and the production group kind of just let them drift in the wind in the background is because the opponents would be too powerful for them to be, even meaningful or for them to stand any type of a chance in a fight against that opponent. Now, that doesn't take away from the fact that I feel like the Earthlings, and even like Gohan to an extent in Dragon Ball Super, because Dragon Ball Super is going to be all about Goku and Vegeta, and because they're going to be the only Super Saiyan gods unless somebody else becomes it. But I'm talking about like Goten, Trunks, Gohan, the Earthlings, Piccolo. They're not going to be strong enough to really compete against the main like big bad villain in any type of arc throughout Dragon Ball Super. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I feel like they may be, just grunts, and they'd fight the grunts and the underlings in Dragon Ball Super. I just don't feel like they'd fight the main character. Now, if you put it like that, they could potentially get strong enough to keep their own against those characters. And I'm specifically talking about the Earthlings now because I know the Saiyans will be fine. But the Earthlings, they may be strong enough to fight like a lower class grunt that, the other big bad has with them, like kind of like equivalent to like a Frieza soldier or something like that. They'd be able to hold their own against those type of opponents. I feel like he probably build upon those characters and make them a bit stronger, but not to the point where they're really relevant to the series, honestly. I feel like those characters, sad as it may be, their shine, it passed back whenever, you know, the first Saiyan saga, when Vegeta and Nappa came, they started being too weak. They just really were just too weak.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. I'm just saying, like, kind of like how Oolong had a role in Battle of Gods, how he kind of, like, he basically made it so that he had an option of how to save the universe, basically. Kind of like that, although with more of an intense feature. Like there's an opportunity where Goku / Vegeta is getting beat up, and, like, really badly, and then there's some side character can potentially do something about it, and just make it so that that's not the situation anymore, and, like, move them out of the way in order for them to get a better vantage point.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I don't know. I just feel like Super is just gonna literally be all Goku and Vegeta, and that makes me sad too, because my favorite character is Gohan. Now, I don't like what he's done with Gohan throughout the years and whatnot, but he's still my favorite character, always has been, but I just don't feel like he's gonna have a very relevant role in Dragon Ball Super. I just feel like it's all gonna be Goku and Vegeta. That's it. That's all. Unless it's Beerus and Whis, that they're like the only people that are really gonna have any shine in that series. I don't know though, but you did touch upon some pretty good points there. So I guess we can kind of just agree upon the fact that we feel like they have to, you know, bring characters in that are either gods or on par with gods, preferably gods, but at least on par with gods, to at least keep the series rolling and keep them relevant, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. But I also just wanted to say, like, Akira Toriyama usually doesn't do what people expect. So,
True.
He could be leading people to believe that Goku and Vegeta are going to be the main antagonists, but then pull some that's, like, completely changes everything. And, I have so many ideas, but I don't know how to say them.
No, I agree with you. He does kind of just, like, pull the unexpected. I just don't. I mean, the thing is, like I said, they're the only ones that are that strong, unless, hopefully this happens, unless Gohan, it's going to be a Saiyan aside from them two, unless Gohan, Goten, or Trunks gets to train in with Whis or somebody like that, then they can't really be relevant unless we're talking about fusions or something like that. I feel like Gohan has powered down too much throughout the years. There's like questions about whether he even still has his mystic powers. But yeah, Toriyama's not even, I mean, he always just lets you think one thing and then does the exact opposite. So I mean, I feel like if it's not going to be Goku or Vegeta that does it, and it's only going to be like one time, it's not going to be very often that it's not Goku or Vegeta. Honestly, it's most likely going to be Goku. It's probably not even going to be Vegeta that much, honestly. But if it's not one of those two characters, it may be Gohan or Gotenks. I don't feel like it would be Goten or Trunks. That's a whole nother topic, but I just feel like it would be Gotenks, because them two separately, I know that they're not going to be strong enough. I know they're not going to be strong enough. So unless we see some other Kakamimi fusion like Goku and Gohan, or, you know, Vegeta and Trunks or something crazy, I don't know.
Yeah, you actually made me think of something when you were starting to talk Goten and Trunks. Because they're small, obviously, it made me think of how Oob end, right? He's only 10 years old and already almost has the power of Kid Buu. So if he trained with Whis, that would bring him to a whole different level. Especially because he's at such a young age.
Very true.
Yeah.
But they said that Goku went off and trained with Oob. I don't feel like he's going to completely just overlook that whole last episode, even though the events have changed since then, and he's back, and Whis and Beerus weren't things back then. They weren't characters. They didn't exist unless he, you know, drew them up or whatnot. That's a whole other topic. But they weren't a part of Dragon Ball at that point in time. So, I mean, Oob is still going to ultimately go off with Goku and train with Goku. like he was supposed to originally, it would be nice to see him train with Whis and whatnot. But he's still going to go off and train with Goku. Now, if he goes off and trains with Goku, and Goku applies what he learned from Whis in their training, that would be pretty cool. But honestly, I just feel like Super is going to take place, you know, in that like 4 or 5 year gap after Revival of F and before that Oob adventure started.
Yeah, whatever they do end up doing with Dragon Ball Super, I hope that it lasts at least 7 seasons. Cause I remember watching Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid with my older brothers, and then it ended, and we were all upset because we were such huge fans of it. And then GT came on, and we're like, oh yeah, cool, something new. But then it ended up being, sorry for me swearing, crap, and like, it just wasn't that good at all. And I hope that Dragon Ball Super makes up for GT.
Very true. I think it's gonna, like, I don't think it's gonna overwrite GT. I think they'll probably, if it does take place in the same time period as GT, they'll probably just say, hey, that happened in a different universe. It happened, but you know, I don't think he's gonna completely like overlook GT, because that did happen. It's not like it never happened in real life. We know what GT is. We had games with characters from GT. We have all these other things about GT, and GT was the most recent Dragon Ball series up until like a month ago. So I don't know. I just think he'll probably say it happened in a whole different universe. But I definitely hope that Super is better than GT, because I mean GT was a good storyline, but it wasn't executed properly. And that's the main thing that it comes down to. It's just how the execution. I feel like how they've set up Dragon Ball Super with the Battle of Gods movie and the Revival of F movie, they have a good a good foundation for the series, and they have a good plot to where they can take the series, seeing as the trajectory through those last 2 movies and whatnot, and with Goku and Vegeta being gods and whatnot. So I just feel like they have a lot of potential with Dragon Ball Super, but it comes down to them executing it right and doing it the right way, which I definitely feel like they'll be able to do. Now, I don't know how much of a game changer Toriyama is, because he'll actually be involved in this. I don't know how much of a game changer he is, because he's made some questionable decisions, in my opinion, sometimes. So I don't know how big of a game changer he'll be, but at least this stuff will be canon, so nobody can talk about it. Even if it just completely flubs, at least it's canon, because that was always the big problem with GT. It just wasn't canon, and people like to overlook it. But the video is getting kind of long now. It's about 17 minutes. So yeah, why don't we go ahead and wrap it up here? Why don't you go ahead and say your outro, and I'll say mine as well.
Alright, well, that's pretty much it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Alright, guys. And like I say in all my videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and check out my friend Beginning Metal 6's channel as well. His description will be down below in my description. That's it. We're out. Peace out, you guys.